So the realities of living abroad, abroad will test your marriage, abroad will test your patience, abroad will test your resilience, abroad will stretch you. If you're not careful, you might end up from fry pan to fire. I just want to share little experience. Most of the times when you plan to travel abroad, many people just look at the hype, many people just look at the flamboyancy, many people just look at all the positive aspect, but nobody sits down and do a critical thinking as to these things that these people are saying. Is it really true? Is it the reality? Because those who live abroad, if you ask them some questions, just say, oh boy, just come, just come. Abroad good, abroad nice, abroad sweet, which is not a lie. But on the other side, on the other hand, there are things that are behind the scene which so many people don't see, and for most people, you don't even get to see it. Social media might present a different kind of reality to you because you don't live there, so you might not be able to know the current circumstances that is prevalent in that location because you live in Africa. The kind of life most people portray to you, those who live in Europe, those who live in the UK, America, they portray to you a life of abundance. They portray to you a life of plenty, a life of pleasure, a life of, good life. They portray to you all that, you just feel like your life is, you are stuck. You that lives in Africa, you just feel, man, there is really something I'm missing, which is true. Because in Africa, one of the things we miss, we lack true leadership. However, in the Western world, they've already put a system where, irrespective of whoever you are, you come into the system already has a working pattern. There is a modus operandi in which every organization, every system works upon. So you come in and then you try to take that part. Even if you're the most ineffective human being, as long as you come into that system, the system already has a working pattern. So you have to find a way to fit into that pattern because you can't come and make changes that will make the system suffer. So it's either you suffer or the system continues. You can't come and then destroy the system. That's exactly how abroad it is more like a programming. So most reality hits people by the time they come in. Immediately they land abroad, the reality sets in. Because you can live in Africa, and I assure you, you can be living in a house where you don't even pay rent and you're still, enjoying, you're still, life might not be as easy as it is for you, but you have the basics of life, the necessary thing. But you can't come abroad and live like that. It can never happen to you. If you come abroad, from the first day you land, your bills will start counting. That's the reality. Your bills will start counting. So if you're not careful, so when you come in, abroad will hit you hard, and then the bills don't wait for you. They keep piling up. So let me talk about the aspect of marriage and family life. Immediately you come abroad, the way we do things in Africa is entirely different from the way things work abroad here. If you come here with that mentality of the African pattern, especially you as a woman who thinks it is the responsibility of the man to carry all the responsibilities of the family on his head, if you come abroad with that kind of mentality, your marriage will crash. Your marriage will definitely crash. So that's why immediately couples come here, it is a joint effort, it is a joint responsibility, it is a joint task. Nobody comes abroad here and just expect that, oh, it is only the woman that will be doing everything, it is only the man that will be doing everything. It is a joint responsibility, it is a joint effort. Because if you leave it on one person, that person will break down, that person will crash. And that's why you see many of our homes are having issues. Why are we having issues? Because there's still the African mentality, and in most cases it is coming, in most instances it is coming from our women. Because by the time they back home, the man does all the job, he works, he does all the making of money, he just brings the money, and then people spend, that kind of thing. The family spends, people use for feeding, for food, and all of that, and the woman is comfortable being a housewife, taking care of the children. But immediately you come abroad here, you discover that it is not the same thing. There are bills to pay, the bills are piling up. So in one way or the other, the woman will also have to work to contribute. Because if it is just based on one person's salary, you discover that most of you will just be living from hand to mouth. By the time you pay your rent at the end of the month, you don't have anything to invest, you don't have anything to save, you don't have anything. So you will discover that it is just from hand to mouth. So by the time the woman starts working now, she's able to support the home, doing her own bits, they share responsibility and things will go fine. But on instances where the woman feels her money is her money now, she's now making money, so the man should still carrying the responsibility as he used to in Africa. It doesn't work, and that's where problem will come in. Before you know what, fight will come in, quarrel will come in, emotional abuse, physical abuse, trauma, all of these things will start coming simply because there is no agreement between these two couples.